Ayy, give me the chip, I need the championship. Wait, we got a dream, next to the team, yeah, we can handle it. Wait, soon as I go and I step in arenas, they call me the champ. They know what it is, know what I do, know who I am, who don't understand? Yeah, that's overdue. My trophy say that's overdue. My ring, finna be immortalized. Yeah, they know it's true. They couldn't walk a mile of here.
Hey, how y'all doing, folks? Hopefully everyone can hear me okay. Uh, Another episode of Buck Sweet Sports Podcast. Uh, Sorry, y'all. It's been a minute. It's been a crazy week. Currently, I'm here in Dayton, Ohio. Just been traveling for work. So first of all, I got to apologize for this past weekend. Didn't get out that week 5 recap show, but we'll recap some of those games tonight. But before we get started, man, once again, appreciate everyone listening in. Like always, feel free to chime in on the chat, especially tonight, man. I'm gonna need some back and forth with y'all tonight. But before we go any further, and I have to apologize, man. Normally I'm doing this on my laptop, but all I got is I just got my phone on this trip. So real quick, we got to give a shout out to our sponsor, and our sponsor for tonight's podcast is North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Austin Brinkley. Uh, Life is full of surprises, but your insurance shouldn't be one of them. Whether it's home, auto, life, renters insurance, Austin Brinkley is here to help you find the right protection at the right price. With personalized service, local expertise, and a commitment to putting your needs first, Austin makes insurance simple, reliable, and stress-free. So give them a call today and schedule your free insurance review. That's Austin Brinkley, North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance Agent. Coverage you can count on and service you can trust. And once again, we want to appreciate Austin for sponsoring this podcast and just supporting the local community. He's a big time supporter of James Keenan football. So all you folks in Duplin County or in the surrounding areas need any help insurance wise, man, give him a call. Like I said, we support those that support us. So give him a call today at 910-290-4250. And he's located right there in Duplin County on 408 North Main Street, right there in Keansville, North Carolina. And once again, thanks, Austin, for sponsoring this podcast. Once again, appreciate everyone joining me. Like I said, man, normally I'm on the laptop. It's a little bit easier to kind of navigate some of these things, but I got the chat open. Unfortunately, tonight we're not live on Instagram. Couldn't get it to work with the phone here, but we are live on Facebook and YouTube. Hoping Coach Goodman could join me later on. He's still at the Clinton soccer game. He was probably about maybe 25 minutes ago. They say they were just making it to halftime. So hopefully he's able to join me tonight. If not, like I said, man, I'm gonna need y'all help a little bit tonight, man, to engage with me and give me a little bit of back and forth. Like always, post your comments, any questions you guys have, any inputs you guys have, insights. Like I said, man, it's gonna be a lot of different some different things going on with the podcast, because like I said, I'm starting this new job and I'm gonna be traveling a lot, and actually this may be this may be one of my last shows with me on camera for a while. Like I said, I'm gonna have Coach Goodman's gonna pretty much take over doing the live shows. What I will probably be able to do is maybe like if for my old school followers that have been with for a while, like I used to do recorded shows. So I may be able to record like a little segment or whatever and send it in. So he could we post that on the page, or he could include it in the live show. But yeah, this will probably be one of the last times y'all see me on camera. But like I said, it's nothing going on. Like I said, man, I'm working. I'm gonna be traveling abroad, and I'm not gonna be able to where I'm gonna be at. I'm not gonna be able to stream like that. So I'll still be running things behind the scenes as far as the page goes, but Coach Goodman and others, they'll be taking over as far as these live shows goes. And like I said, here at Bus Sweet Sports, man, um, we always promise to give you guys some real content, real raw content, and we're gonna keep doing that. So not we ain't stopping. Trust me, we ain't stopping. I know a lot of people were concerned, thinking it was just gonna be the end of it, but nah, the show's still going on. The show is still gonna go on, but uh, and, and shout out, yeah, Coach Stevens. Yeah, we are me and Coach Goodman talked about it. Yeah, definitely. We use all the help we can get, man. So anytime you want to hop on, let me know. Um, but real quick, let me send a shout out to the chat. Like I said, y'all feel free to comment in the chat. So, like I said, hopefully everything's going smooth. Y'all can hear me, everything all good. Like I said, I'm doing this. Normally I don't do this on my phone. I do it on my laptop. But I see Ryan Sutherland in the chat. Shout out to Ryan, East Dukeland radio broadcast team, always showing love. I see Coach Stevens in the chat. They had a big also, man. Post those the middle school scores this Wednesday night. Post those middle school scores so we can shout them out in the chat. I know some people had hit me up in the inbox, but like I said, I'm doing this on my phone. I don't want to close out my restream and by accident. So just post them in the chat and we'll shout them out. But shout out Coach Maynard, Coach Brandon Maynard in the chat. Union Spartans, big time game. Got a game against a conference game against East Columbus, the boys from the swamp, East Columbus, this Thursday. I know that game got moved. There's probably some other games that got moved due to weather. I haven't, like I said, I've been busy all day, man. I haven't really been able to get up here and check out any of the things. But let's see. Shout out to LR Mix is up here, West Columbus, and West Columbus is tomorrow, and he'll be at East Bladen on Friday night. And of course, those that didn't see the post, East Bladen versus Hobbton is going to be our Buck Sweet Sports game of the weekend. That's a good segue to let me go ahead and bring up this is our games this week are featured games that we'll be focused on. A lot of our local teams are open this week. So we only got 10 games we're really focusing on this Friday night. And as you can see, there's the list above right there. As you can see, Lakewood versus West Columbus, Midway versus Spring Creek, Union versus East Columbus, Hobbton versus East Bladen, which is our Buck Sweet Sports game of the week. Wallace Rose Hill taking on Goldsboro, James Keenan versus Rosewood, Pender County taking the trip out to Anson County, Jeff Webb taking on Northwest Halifax, Hoggard versus West Brunswick, and a little private school action for y'all. Harold's taking on Covenant Day. So those are our games that we're going to be focused on this week. But like I said, man, I have to apologize. I missed out on doing a recap show for this past week. And I appreciate y'all. If y'all have any schedule changes, please go ahead and post them in the chat, and so everyone can see. I see Morgan Shabbat posted Lakewood at West Columbus. It's going to be tomorrow. Got moved up to tomorrow at 6:30. So like I said, they're expecting some inclement weather on Friday night, so a lot of their games are going to be a lot of games are moving. So like I said, if I haven't posted anything, I apologize. Like I said, I haven't really been up here like that today, man. But I see some middle school scores in the chat here. Don Britt Hobbton Middle took down Midway 33-0. So shout out Hobbton 2-0. Yeah, that's another good win. And I want to say someone had posted the RS score in my inbox earlier, and I want to say they won like 40 something to like 0. So like I said, I can't pull it up right now, but appreciate y'all posting. And Duplin County schools, anybody Duplin County fans also, not just Sampson, Sampson County, Duplin County, or anybody else listening, post those middle school scores so we could kind of shout them out. But like I was saying, my bad, I keep on going back and forth. But I want to talk about Friday night. This last Friday night, since I didn't get a chance to do a recap this weekend, I was traveling. Um, so I just want to focus on three main games, which are three main games that everybody want to talk about. Um, and shout out Coach Elliott. Yeah, shout out to Coach Elliott. Yeah, 44-0, Roseboro Sellenberg. So that's another good win for the young leopards out there. Appreciate that, Coach. But real quick, man, like I said, three games I want to recap real quick for Friday night. Of course, speaking of Coach Elliott, man, shout out to Lakewood coming defeating undefeated North Duplin team, coming back to win that game 26-22. A big time win. First of all, man, let me shout out Lakewood, their coaching staff, their entire football program, because like I said, last week, and I hate that I have to give this disclaimer, but once again, what we do try to, show love to everyone and be positive, and but like I said, once again, this is a sports podcast. So sometimes, it's not gonna always be kumbaya. We're picking games. We gotta pick somebody to lose. So it's not, like I said, you can either get offended or not. But shout out to Lakewood, because I picked against them last week, and they went out Friday night, handled business, and Saturday morning, I wasn't getting tagged in any videos and pictures and BS posts. Them kids just they went out there, they won the game, did what they had to do, got a leg up in that conference race out there, and went about their business like they've been there before, which they have. So shout out to Lakewood for just for not being offended, not creating chips on your shoulder that ain't there. You know what I'm saying? Because we talk about a lot of games, and we got to pick a winner, we got to pick a loser. Just because we pick against you, you ain't got to take offense to that. If you want, like I said, I'm all about the jokes or whatever, but some of this, and I'm gonna get to that in a minute, where this is leading to. But some of this stuff, it gets kind of, it's pointless, man. It's really stupid, really, especially when it's not me saying the stuff. But shout out to Lakewood. That's one game we'll talk about. So I'll go ahead and talk about that. The next one. So Clinton going down to Whiteville Legion Stadium, coming back from a 30-13 deficit to win the game in overtime. Big time win for Clinton. The biggest win they've had, in the Coach Boykin era, you could say. Like I said, a lot of people know. Like I said, a lot of people didn't expect that. Big time game, big time win. But for me, the joy and the jubilation from that win was basically ruined Saturday morning, because the BS that was going on online. Just like I talked about those Lakewood kids who I picked against, going out there handling business Friday night and just, celebrating and doing things the right way Saturday. You could say the opposite about, and I hate for a couple, to ruin the whole, bunch, but you got about 6 or 7 Clinton kids tagging me in some BS posts, which turned out wasn't even me. We talked about this last week. It's somebody, I don't know if he's a Whiteville fan or just somebody that follows the page, but happens to be, his name is Chris Harris. He had posted something. If you could go right now and scroll down to the Whiteville versus Clinton graphic that I made last week and see what he said. But I guess they were screenshotting this and tagging me in it on Instagram, and just a bunch of unnecessary stuff that went down on social media that it really wasn't no need for. And for like I said, we're going. I've never personally attacked or talked bad about a Clinton kid, and I challenge anybody to say otherwise. I've never pointed out a specific player and talk bad about him. So the personal stuff that was going on social media the other day was totally uncalled for, and that breaks basically. You might as well, for me, you might as well throw that one out the window because you ruined it with the BS online, and like I said, I hate for it to be 6 or 7 kids that ruin it for everybody, but that's kind of how it was. But shout out to one of the team captains that hit me up in the inbox and said apologize for the nonsense, and that's exactly why he's a team captain, and that's exactly why that kid's gonna make it. Because some of these kids just live for this online stuff. If you're not tagging me after a loss, don't if you're not tagging me when I'm right, don't tag me when I'm wrong. So that, like I said, it was just a bunch of unnecessary stuff that went on online that I'm not really gonna get and dive deep into, but that's just what it was. But that kind of like just spoiled the whole thing for me. Like I said, people forget I'm a Clinton fan. I was happy about the win Friday night, you know. But yeah, look, that's all I got to say about that, man. But real talk, man. Shout out to Coach Goodman, cause I ain't gonna lie, like some of the stuff that was the stuff that was getting done, it kind of made me want to just, you know what, man, shut this whole thing down and just whatever, forget it. Because what the hell, what am I doing this for? But Coach Goodman said, hey, look, man, you gotta understand, don't let a couple, a little bit of nonsense ruin it for everybody, man. That's not everybody. The love always outweighs the hate. So we'll keep it. We're gonna keep it moving, man. So appreciate Coach Goodman for that, man. I really needed to, this is something you needed to hear. But like I said, man, some folks just gotta do better. And like I said, some of these same kids that was tagging me in some BS, I'm steadily online in my inbox when people are talking trash, defending them. But they don't see that. Like I said, a lot of people got, when it comes to negative and positive, people got selective hearing and selective eyes, because you think I'm negative all the time. Meanwhile, like I said, I'm going to bat for you behind the scenes. So it is what it is. But yeah, just when it comes to that social media stuff, man, do better. Our next game, the game of the week last week, Midway versus Princeton. If you're a defensive guy, if you like defense, you probably weren't happy on Friday night, man. Just an offensive showcase by both teams. Like I talked about with Princeton in the past, man. Theo McFadden, awesome player, outstanding running back, outstanding athlete. Period. Had a huge game, but like we talked about before, man. I always feel like Princeton's Achilles heel is always going to be their defense. The moment that Midway was able to get up a couple scores on them, like I said, that's when I knew it was going to be an issue. And just that Midway offensive line really dominated. Tanner Williams had a huge game. Both with it on dual threat with his legs and with his arm. He was our player. He was our player of the game, and of course my Trench Warrior of the week. I had to give it to the entire Midway offensive line, because even with the injuries that they had, because Big John Williams wasn't out there, and another kid, one of their guards had got injured during the game, but they just dominated that Princeton defensive front and really gave Tanner and Wesley Two and other guys just plenty of room and to get it done. And like I said, if you're a defensive guy, neither team played good defense. Midway's defense did enough, but that if there's one thing that I'm pretty sure Coach Sloan and the coaching staff are probably wanting to get fixed is you want to get that defense right, because like I said, your offense is explosive, but as you go further along into the season, especially in the conference play, knowing who's in your conference, you're going to deal with some really talented offensive players, and you don't want to be giving up 50 points. That's not a good look. That's not a good. You score 73, but giving up 50 is still not a good look. But like I said, just an offensive showcase by both teams. And once again, like I said, Midway was able to shake off that loss that they had against South Johnson the week before, and really do some work. But I hate to hear that, because Shout out to Pine Oak in the chat. Um, G had he had a season-ending injury last year, right there towards the end of the year, towards the playoffs, and you hate to see him, get hurt again. I see G Pine Oak's in the chat saying he fractured his foot Friday night. And yeah, that's just you hate to see it, man. You don't want to see nobody get hurt, stuff like that. Uh, Definitely don't like to see, man. But just hoping him a speedy recovery, and just good luck moving forward. And I guess the the silver lining, he's a junior. He still has he has he has another season. So just hoping to get right and uh, you know healthy moving forward. Go to the chat real quick. And like I said, y'all feel free to chime in with your comments. Zachary Powers, do you think Midway will be second in conference? It depends on what type of Wallace Rose Hill team we're going to see coming out this. We're all we're so used to Wallace being Wallace. We're just all sitting here waiting for okay. Eventually, they're going to wake up. But it just depends. Like I said, Midway, as explosive as their offense is, they're still, you can still score on them. And Wallace has one of the best backs in the area. Still has good size lines. They got some athletes, man. They can put up some points. So I'm not putting it past them yet. But right now, if I had to, if I took a snapshot of the Swan Valley Conference and tell me who's your top two right now, of course it's James Keenan, and then I would probably put Midway right there at second place. But appreciate the question. But that was enough for last week's games. I apologize if I couldn't hit all of them. Like I said, missed that show this Saturday. But we'll go ahead and move on to this week. And didn't plan on being up here too long, but we'll hit a couple of these games. Like I said, it's not too many this week, but like I said, that's the list of our games that we're covering this week. A lot of them moved up to Thursday night. So if we may do a recap Friday if that's the case, if most of them move. But just kind of going down this list, and hopefully, like I said, man, hopefully Coach Goodman could join me at some point as soon as he gets done with the soccer game. But just going down this list, I look at our first game. We're sitting there looking at Lakewood versus West Columbus, and that's a game like I talked about in our graphic this week. That's a game rematch from a third round game from was it 2023? That year West Columbus went up there, made it to the Eastern Championship game. And I apologize. Hopefully I ain't lose no connection there. Somebody tried to. That's the thing about trying to do this on my phone. People got somebody calls you, it might knock you off. Hopefully I get knocked off. Everybody's still hearing me good. But that game from 2023, that was a really good West Columbus team. Since then, they've really been going through a rebuild. Coming to this game, 0-4 for Lakewood. I see Lakewood. Of course, I see Lakewood winning this one, continuing that momentum that they picked up last week. Well, so Pine Oak said he's only going to be out 2 to 3 weeks, so that's good. At least he'll be able to come back this season. Okay, I know the severity of the injury, so at least he'll be able to come back. At least be in time, get healthy in time for the playoffs. So that's good news at least. But like I was saying, Midway, I see Lakewood winning this game pretty easily Friday night. It's been a struggle for West Columbus this year. Like I said, they're still just trying to build that program back up. Unfortunately, like I said, coming into this game 0-4, I don't see them picking up that win, that first win this week. But Any comments on Lakewood versus West Columbus? And that is a conference game. They're deep in there, and they're well into their that Carolina 2A 1A conference right now. And with Lakewood taking down North Duplin, I guess the next big time matchup you're gonna be looking at as far as those that conference goes is gonna be whenever East Bladen and North Duplin play, because that's probably gonna be a big one as far as seeding in that conference goes. But next game, another one that's I feel like probably be a washout, man. We got Midway versus Spring Creek. We all know about Spring Creek. Just not really a really good football program at this time. Always, they've been pretty much struggling since it's been it's been a while, man. I don't know if we got any Spring Creek fans who can give me um, a little history lesson, but it just seems like they've always, never really been a big football school. But a week for Midway to, get right. Like I said, they got some injuries, so get some guys some rest, maybe rest some guys, play some of your younger guys, get them some good reps. But like we talked about with that Lakewood Fairmont game a couple weeks ago, you won't overlook anybody, man. Still go out there and play your game, but go ahead, get out there and handle business, and get out there with the W. So I don't foresee Midway having any issues with Spring Creek. So they'll continue to roll on. Shout out to Coach Mark Oates in the chat. Shouting out Spartan Nation Union, big time. Got a game against East Columbus tomorrow night. So appreciate you listening in, Coach. Next game. We'll skip over that because that's our game of the week. All right, go ahead and talk about Union versus East Columbus. And unfortunately, man, Union ran to a tough one this last Friday night, lost to West Bladen. Once again, let me shout out West real quick. Let me shout out West Bladen. West Bladen, another team that I think we picked against last weekend. Them kids just went out there and handled business. Ain't nobody running to social media and doing no extra nonsense. The boys just went out there and handled business. So, like I said, I see West Bladen heading in the right direction, man. Like I said, I'm a fan of the coach, man. I feel like those kids are starting. They buy in. They're really bought into that to what he's trying to do out here, and hopefully he sticks around for a little while. I feel like that's one of the biggest issues that they've had at West Bladen, that they haven't really had a coach that will stick around for more than two seasons. So, but back to Union, this is not one of those games that we talked about before with Union. You're gonna seeing the growth in that program. One of those, like I said, the 50-50 games where last year this is one of those games that they probably would have lost, but I don't see that happening this year, man. I got Union taking down the Gators tomorrow night, so Spartan Nation go out there and cheer them boys on. Shout out to Coach Marco. Shout out to Coach Brandon Maynard. Shout out to my boy Magic. Magic was trying to give me a hard time about talking about his Raiders defense this past week, but shout out to Magic. But yeah, I got Union winning that one. But any comments on Union versus East Columbus? Yes, sir. Coach, he said he just trying to keep building, and they're building. And they're building, and you definitely could tell. I had posted some of the stats from last week. I haven't seen the updated list yet, but you saw Tobias Cromartie up there in the top 10 as far as that classification goes, as far as rushing goes. So you start to see, like I said, you're gonna start seeing that that program continue to just do big things, and you're gonna start, like I said, you're seeing a lot more. You're gonna start seeing a lot more wins than you see losses in more competitive games, and that's just they've been building that up for a while, and you're really starting to see really starting to see it come to fruition. But shout out to SB. SB always been a he always keeps the chat lively. Coming at Coach Goodman. He said Coach Goodman game checking in, but look, Coach Goodman running late tonight, man. Nah, he working late, man. I guess the soccer game went a little longer than he expected. But dang, okay. SB is what I would call a disruptor. You know, he gonna come in, he gonna go against the grain. But I mean, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. That breeds discussion, so I like that. He said he go with East Columbus. Okay, but appreciate the comments, man. Let's see our next game. We'll talk about once again Wallace Rose Hill. Wallace Rose Hill taking on Goldsboro. For Wallace, this is what we talk. We talk about those get right games. You gotta, Goldsboro, like I said, another team that's another down program. Um, really haven't done much lately. Perfect, confidence builder for Wallace, man, to start to try to get their stuff together here going into conference play now. Like I said, man, Bubba Lamb, one of the best running backs in the area. Still got solid size on that line. Guys like Christian or Scarlett. You still got Matthew Wells on the center at quarterback. Like I said, watching from the Clinton game, one there the linebackers, I can't remember his name right now, but number 11, he was a stud athlete. So they Wallace got athletes, man. They have coaching. Not sure what the disconnect has been this season. Like I said, maybe we talked about, the maybe just missing Adam, Coach Scrumps, who's now at Hobbton. Maybe that have a bigger impact than what folks thought would happen. But yeah, it's just been just not the same Wallace Rose Hill that we're used to seeing. And you're steady waiting for it to the reverse and get right. We'll see, man. We'll see as they go through conference play if they can kind of start to build some steam. But this is a good way to get started, man. Like I said, you got a down Goldsboro team, so get in there, build some confidence up, work some kinks out, and hopefully it's a lot better moving forward. But any comments on Wallace and Goldsboro? I know it's not like I said. A lot of the man, like I said, we got a lot of teams on buys this week, and a lot of the matchups locally just seem a little lopsided. We'll talk about another one here, man. We got James Keenan Tigers, who have just been on a roll, taking on what looks like seems to be like a down Rosewood team. Once again, James Keenan, they're gonna go in there and handle business, man. They're gonna do what they do. I don't foresee them having any issues. Like I said with some other teams, just a chance to go in there and handle business. Get your of course, what the mercy rule, the running clock now is 35 points. Get your lead up, and get some of them younger guys playing time. Get your starters out of there. Hopefully injury free, no issues, and get your young guys in there. Get some good reps for the younger players and some kids that just don't get to play that much. So. That's good for them to get out there and have some playing time on the field. So like I said, I don't see James Keenan having any issues with Rosewood. Like I said, Rosewood really seems like they're kind of really down this season. But any comments on Rosewood versus James Keenan? Keep it moving. Once again, y'all. Like I said, I gotta apologize. I don't see things seem a little different. Like I said, I kind of threw this together on the fly. I'm out here on the road. I'm in Dayton, Ohio. Didn't bring my personal laptop with me. I just got my phone, so don't usually do this on the phone, so I gotta make do. Yeah, like I said, like Joshua Taylor said, a lot of guys got some reps last week, which is good, man. That's gonna be good. That's good for the program moving forward. Like I said, man, because eventually those are gonna be your guys. Those are gonna be your starters. So. Good to get them some live reps. No matter who the competition is, it's a Friday night. You're up. Get them some playing time. But next game, talk about Pender County traveling out to Anson County. Road trip for the Pender Patriots. Uh, this will be I guess their last non-conference game. They're one of the teams that had one of those early buys. So I guess that's how that worked out. But don't know much about Anson County. I know they took on Red Springs earlier this season, and Red Springs were able to come back and beat them. Of course, Pender County beat Red Springs, so I don't want to use that as a premise to my prediction as far as this game goes. But yeah, I don't. Like I said, I see Pender County. They've been playing some good football. They had a 62-29 victory over South Columbus last week, and I don't see that. I don't see that program slowing down anytime soon. Um, Hopefully, you don't want to look ahead. You got a big game next week, like I said, against Clinton. So I guess you could kind of call this a trap game. Um, yeah, you don't want to overlook. Don't want to overlook. Like I said, I don't know much about Anson County, but you don't want to overlook anybody, especially at this point in the season. But you just want to get out there and handle business. That's a long road trip for 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 Pender. But I'll definitely pick Pender for the win. I don't see them having any issues there. Like I said, just hopefully they're not looking ahead to next week because that's going to be a big conference big conference opener for them taking on Clinton. Comments on Pender versus Pender versus Anson County. If not, um, yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of start to kind of wind things down. So I'll talk about our game of the week. But before that, man, once again, just want to give a shout out to Austin Brinkley for sponsoring this podcast. And like I said, we want to thank him once again, man. He's been tremendous support for us. So definitely, if you're in the Duplin County area, give him a call. Um, And like I said, man, we got to support the people that support us. He's a big time supporter of the kids in the community, big time James Keenan fan. So especially if you're a James Keenan Tiger, man, show him some love, man. Give him a call, 910-290-4250. Located right there in Kingsville, North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance Agent. Ask for Austin Brinkley. And if you like Buzzfeed Sports Podcast, you know, definitely give Austin a call, man. Give him some support. We appreciate his. So we want to make sure that our followers are showing him some love as well. Uh, Real quick, back to the. See, we got another comment. I ain't trying to leave out any comments. Oh, off the claw. Shout out off the claw podcast, man. That's Brandon Blackwell. If you're a Lakewood fan and you haven't followed him yet, man, make sure you give him a follow. But he's talking about Penner did beat Red Spring, but they was down a couple of wide receivers early in that game as well. Oh yeah, that is true. True. Appreciate Brandon for pointing that out for us. Yeah. Hopefully, man, we trying to get Brandon to come back and help Coach Goodman out while I'm gone. So did I did I shut myself off? Hold on one second, folks. Yeah, see, this is why I don't do this is why I don't do this with my phone. Well, well, that's that. I guess you can't, y'all. I guess you can't see me no more, but y'all can still hear me, right? Yeah, Coach Ellie said, "Man, he out of here, man." You said, "Man, you done turn the camera off. I'm out." Uh, but yeah, sorry about that. Having some issues with my camera, but as long as y'all can still hear me, man, I'll keep on talking. But our game of the week, Busby Sports game of the week, East Bladen taking on the Hobbton Wildcats. Carolina 2A 1A conference game. Um, I don't know if we got any Bladen County folks or even Hobbton folks up here. For some reason, man, I can't recall if these two ever played before in football. If if so, let me know, man. I ain't have really a chance to kind of research the matchup yet, but it seems like this is something we hadn't really, these are two area teams. I don't know if they've ever played in football before, man. Somebody let me know. I mean, I know they both were both were 1A teams back in the day, but seems like a new matchup, man. Just but out of like I said, we got a lot of teams on bye, and looking at the list of matches, this one kind of stood out to me, so I definitely had to feature this as my BuzzFeed Sports Game of the Week. But uh, expect a lot of running if you're uh, expect a lot of running, man. We got some outstanding running backs on both sides of the ball, outstanding athletes on both sides of the ball, and two solid coaches, man. It's gonna be fun to see the chess match that goes into this game. I feel like let me know if y'all can hear me. Um, All right, y'all. I'm back. If y'all are still here, I appreciate y'all bearing with me through that. Not sure what happened, but all right. Yeah, and this is why I don't use my phone to do my streams on. See, if y'all are still here, man, I appreciate you. I apologize. I don't know what that was. I apologize. Y'all just had to sit through what about 5 to 6 minutes of me trying to get this stuff right, but um, let me see here. Yeah, so I'm not sure exactly when my audio had cut out. uh, it's probably somewhere right around the time that Coach Elliott said, "All right, I'm out, man." The last thing I was talking about Lakewood, and I'm not Lakewood, but East Bladen and Hobbton for our game of the week. And like I said, that's going to be a showcase of some really solid running teams. A lot of great running backs, a lot of great athletes, good coaching on both sides. You got Coach Scross taking on Coach Robbie Priest out there, East Bladen. East Bladen trying to keep their momentum going. They're definitely one of the teams that's in contention for conference title in that Carolina 2A 1A conference. So they're going to try to keep their momentum going. Hoppin's heading down to Elizabethtown. That's a tough place to play a football game, man. Um, for all the Lakewood fans, man, you're going down there looking for some place good to eat. You gotta check out Giorgio's, the Italian place right there near the school. Now, I ain't like so. Of course, I haven't been in the area in what 5 6 years now, but I remember back in the day that used to be a hot spot. So not sure if it's still up there, but if you're heading down to Elizabethtown, that's always a good place to get your pregame meal in. But yeah, a tough place to play, man. Like I said, really talented group of running backs for East Bladen. I know going into the season, the main focus was on Deshaun Campbell, but of course you've seen the kid Lewis really come on these last couple of games. But Brandon Blackwell's got it. Uh, but uh, yeah, just a really three-headed monster back there in that backfield for East Bladen. That's going to be tough to contend with. And of course, for Hobbton, man, you got to shout out to Reggie Thompson, man. I don't think you can give that kid enough credit because not you don't see that often, and especially in this football climate where you got a kid that was a 1,000+ yard wide receiver. Coaching change comes totally different offense. He's coming into a run dominated offense where you talk about a 1K wide receiver having to now play a wing T offense, switch positions, and now he's one of the top rushers in the class. I mean, how often do you see a kid go from a 1,000 yard wide receiver to potentially probably going to be a 1,000 yard rusher this season? And that just shows what type of you know outstanding athlete that he is. So he's definitely one of the best in the area. And shout out to the young kid Amir Tate, man. Amir Tate, he's been up there as far as their numbers. He stepped up big time because with the injury to J Mac. So like I said, man, those Hoppy had a rough start, but like I said, you see those kids really buying into Coach Cross's system out there and really um, looking good going into conference play. Like I said, it's gonna be if you're a fan of running the ball, you're in for a treat when these two play 3 yards, cloud of dust type football. Probably gonna be one of the quickest games of the night type football. So definitely looking forward to checking that one out. And not sure if that game's been affected by the weather yet, but like I said, I haven't really had a chance to get up here today. Like I said, I've been ripping and running all day. looking forward to flying back home tomorrow. Yeah, I'm not about the airport and hotel life, man. I miss my family, so I'm ready to go home. And what's bad is this is the small trip. I'm already homesick. I'm about to go on the big trip, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. But yeah, so I'm definitely looking forward to checking out these games Friday night, man. Like once again, man, I want to apologize for I know this don't seem like a regular average show that we normally do. Like I said, I'm just kind of down some equipment and down some personnel tonight. See, Coach wasn't able to hop on with us tonight. And, I think AB down there in Marlboro County, he's got something doing. He's doing something with his family this week, so he wasn't able to join us. So, um, yeah. So Coach is not up here, so we probably won't be able to do our quick picks. We'll probably just post them on the page, and so everyone can see them, and we'll go from that. But like I said, we'll continue to watch out for these games being changed due to inclement weather. We'll try to keep you updated as best as we can. Once again, I'll be traveling again all day tomorrow. So, like I said, I got like just some stuff to do in the morning time as far as the job goes, and then I'll be headed back to Florida tomorrow evening. So, if the games are being played tomorrow, I'll probably be on the plane. I'll probably miss them. So I'll try to watch them on my phone the best I can. But hopefully some of these games stay on Friday, so at least the rain holds off or something, and I can watch it, check out a couple of. I see Bladen County Sports says the East game is still for Friday, rain or shine. So hopefully that stays that way, so I can at least check that one out. But I see some of the other ones have been changed, so try to stay on top of those the best I can. But yeah, like I said, I apologize. It's not your normal format as far as the show goes, and like I said, I know me and Coach Goodman will work it out where however they're going to do it moving forward. But like I said, man, probably this recap show Saturday will probably be my last live show because I only got 1 week left home, and I just want to spend as much time with my family as I can. So I probably won't be up here too much. Like I said, I'll still be running things behind the scene though, but yeah, that's all. That's probably how it's gonna go. But once again, man, appreciate everyone for listening in. Appreciate everyone that if you stuck around, man, you're a real one, man, because definitely had some issues tonight. But always good football talk, man, and good luck to all the area schools. If I picked against you, don't take it to heart. Still sad that I still have to put that message out there, but appreciate everyone that chimed in tonight. Appreciate the comments. Appreciate just taking the time to listen in, and definitely looking forward to some great games Friday night. We'll probably do a recap show. I might do a recap show Friday night because I think we got something going on Saturday family wise. So it may be Friday night. I might do a late night right after the game type show. We'll see. But like I said, once again, man, just appreciate everyone listening. Shout out to Austin Brinkley for sponsoring the podcast. Appreciate you, all the support, and just hope for everyone to enjoy the rest of their week. And once again, this is Buck Sweet Sports Podcast. Chris Harris signing off. Y'all have a good night.